I suspect it's time to get back on the pony. I'm just going to fix my machine. And so what I would like to talk about this morning is legacy. People might think that leaving a legacy is quite glamorous and quite profound and life affirming. The reality of leaving a legacy is that you as a person will create an impact, and when you create an impact, sometimes people may not like it, and in order to create a legacy, you have to be impactful. You have to be willing to get in people's faces, and you have to be willing to push really hard so that people will listen to your presumed contribution. And this is not easy because you have to change language structure. You have to inject a new way of thinking into a process, and you will not be liked. People will not like you. People will try to reject your idea because many people are resistant to change, especially if you're working within a recognized hierarchy that has been established for a very long time. So the point being is, are you willing to be a right pain in the arse? Because if you're a right pain in the arse, people will eventually go, look, take it. Just go away, take it, have it, do it, whatever you want, do it. Just get out of my face. So you have to get in people's faces, and but I do encourage you to create change, because we all need change, and from my own experience, I set up art therapy in a women's crisis intervention service, and I started by having a very small corner in a room with a very small art table for the women to start to use art for healing. And this went on for some time, and it was getting more used by the women, and I would provide my own art materials. So there's many things that have to work in tandem. For example, in that type of service, then you're having to be aware of health and safety. So your whatever you're delivering, you have to look at it from many angles. Health and safety management, how people are going to use it, what benefits are, and it's sustainable. um, because a legacy has to be sustainable. It has to run itself when you are not there. So when you leave, it remains in place. So I started to talk about this art table quite a lot, and I would repeat language about art and art tables and using art tables and the benefits of the art table. I would repeat this constantly, and um, it was started. I started to cause a ripple, and eventually, I then injected that it might be quite useful to have an art room. So we moved from thinking about an art table to an art room. So I would repeat that it might be quite a good idea to have an art room. And so I repeated it and I repeated it, and I followed the steps of the art. It's quite good. The women are healing. It's very useful in terms of helping people to come off medication using art instead of medicine, or using art as medicine. And so I repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated until an art room evolved. And the art room evolved, and we had a shelf built in the art room for the art materials uh, to go onto. We had a chair, and it started to evolve, and um, the benefits were very evident, and so then I was still providing art materials for the art room, and then slowly I would say, um, would it be possible to use some of these pens for the art room? Would it be possible to use some of the photocopying paper for the art room? Would it be possible? And I kept talking about the art room and how beneficial it was, how it would be cost effective in uh, reducing the amount of medication that people were using, um, and the art room actually saved lives. And I recently, or some time ago, I met um, somebody who had used the art room, um, and this person was a prolific mental health user, um, um, maybe 3 or 4 admissions a year, and um, sort of progressively, really. Um, and when I met this person, they said that the art room really helped them very much, and they had not been in any mental health services for 7 years, and that for me was the biggest gift I could have received um, ever, really. If nothing else happens ever, the art room that I created helped one person stay out of mental health services for 7 years. And so I repeated and repeated, the art room is good. The art room is great. Blah, blah, blah. Art, art, art. Can I use paper? Can I use pens? The art room. The art room is great. Can I use paper? Can I use pens? Anyway, so I repeated and repeated. I left that service in 2005, I think, maybe 4 or 5, something like that. and the art room is still going now. So this is what you do to create a legacy, is get in people's faces, repeat your thing, whatever you do, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, display the benefits of it, make sure it becomes sustainable on its own. I didn't try to go into the health service and change the structure of the health service. What I did was encourage people who use the service to benefit from my injection. So I injected a structure into the known structure, if you like. It's not going to work if you try to move into an established hierarchical structure and try and change it. It's not going to happen. So you have to deliver something that will add to the benefit of the user of the hierarchical structure. So that's what I'm going to say about legacy today. Thank you so much for listening, and may you discover something that you can leave as a legacy for other people, and get in people's faces, get used to being a pain in the ass. Don't worry about people not liking you, which is very difficult. And that's it. So I'm going to stop because I'm going to start to waffle. I can feel it coming. So I'm going to go now. And thank you so much for listening, and speak to you next time. Bye.